Anything like ever go wrong on that show? Like you sparred against someone that was a little bit too serious?
For the most part, that was always a big concern because, especially for the pilot. During the pilot, I had just gotten off of a fight with Jimmy Smith, and I had a torn MCL that was just healing. So my knee was really wobbly, and I didn't have a lot of stability in it. And the way that the first one kind of played out was they really didn't know when you shoot a pilot. You shoot a ton of stuff because you don't really have the parameters of what the show is going to be yet. So you get a bunch of stuff, you send it to the network, and they say, we love that element, we don't want to see any of this stuff, we love this and this, and that kind of becomes the framework for the rest of the episodes. Mm-hmm. So, the first episode, they had the instructor pick which one of us was going to fight, and I was just dreading it because I'm like, man, I can't do anything because of my knee. So, luckily, the guy, Yodacha was an amazing Muay Thai practitioner, and he didn't kill me, which was fantastic. There's always that balance of how hard we have to go to have like a good sparring exhibition, and light enough so that 2 days later, while we're filming a new episode, we don't have a broken nose or a swollen eye. That was my only problem with the show. The only negative thing I had to say about it was that they built it up as this hardcore, they come watch these blood fights, whatever the heck, these, a 50-year-old guy that was sitting behind the publication desk of History Channel, how do they wanted to bill it? And, I think people watch the show, and even myself, I was like, these fights can't be that rough because we're not going to literally be able to, knock each other out and then film in a day, because we would go to film 3 or 4 episodes back to back. Mm-hmm. So, but other than that, it was a great experience. I mean, I got to go around the world, and as far as everyone was really good to work with. The French, I can concur, do not like us. Other than that, it was a good time.
Heard a few things about French people spitting on people.
Yeah, they didn't spit on me or Bill. I always have my bodyguard, Big Bill Duff, with me. So
yeah, he's a big guy. Now, is there one country in particular where you just loved it, you loved what you learned there and stuff like that sticks out the most?
Well, there's a couple countries that stick out the most, and for different reasons. I'm Greek, so going to Greece was just like the most exciting thing for me because ever since I was a young boy, I wanted to go to Greece. It was one of my I have a few different ethnicities, but Greek is the one I feel the closest tied to, and I wanted to go to Greece. Another reason is I love history. If I wasn't into martial arts or the entertainment world, I'd be a history teacher. So antiquities and the Parthenon and all that stuff, I just have a huge gravitation towards. Greece was beautiful. Got to bring my mom with me, and then from a martial arts standpoint, the art that I was probably the most shocked over was Israel, Krav Maga, because I think martial artists kind of fall into two different areas. There's mixed martial artists and traditional martial artists. And mixed martial artists, we all kind of have this little bit of an ego on our shoulder that, hey, after so many years of MMA, we see what works and what doesn't. And people kind of go, look, what's grappling, you've got to wrestle, you've got to do jiu-jitsu, you've got to kickbox, period. Forget karate, forget this, it doesn't work, And those things don't work at a very high level with those parameters, but something like Krav Maga, I was like, wow, I learned things that I felt like I could use and that, like on a daily basis. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you're Anderson Silva and 4 guys jump you, you're going to get your ass kicked, period. If 2 guys jump you, you're probably still going to get your ass kicked because there's a lot of them, unless you can take one guy out. But what I liked about Krav Maga was they taught, a lot about the strategy behind things and why you do certain things and things of that nature.
After you filmed, the human weapon and everything like that, another show came on National Geographic Channel called Fight Quest. What did you think when you saw that when it came out?
I thought that was interesting. I think imitation is the highest form of compliment, and it was actually Fight Quest on the Discovery Channel, Jimmy Smith, and I forget the other guy's name. But what was unique about that is that our show is actually, there was a show done several years prior to that where there was a girl traveling the globe, and I just think that we were seeing a big resurgence in mixed martial arts in general. You look, martial arts kind of has like a trending. There was judo back in the 60s, and karate was really big in the 70s, and then you had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Karate Kid days, and then there was kind of a lull. And just recently with mixed martial arts and things like the Bourne Ultimatum and Bourne Supremacy, people have kind of went, oh, martial arts is cool again. It's not just something for pot-smoking hippies to talk about chi. So it was cool. It was great to see a different show. I think the main difference is their show was a little bit more reality show based. We had certain things we had to get across from a factual standpoint. And this is because our demographic is a little more, we want to learn something from watching the show, and theirs is a little more like we just want to be entertained. I've only seen a couple episodes of theirs. I thought it was interesting. They did some of the same stuff we did. They did some of the things better. They did some of the things differently. I don't know, I'll put it that way. But it was a good show. I think I enjoyed them both for different reasons.
Now, What's going on? Spencer Pratt.
Who?
How did all this happen, man?
That's great. It's crazy. It's just the power of the internet. Someone started a thread on the underground that Spencer Pratt and I had gotten into some altercation, and
Which is completely false, right?
Yeah, I've never even met Spencer Pratt. I don't know anything about him from what I see on TV, and again, I have mixed feelings about that because I know from a production standpoint some things are pushed off, but on the same token, you can't make anyone edit you or show you a way that you're not being. So basically what it all boils down to is that people thought that there's this fight, this close to happening, and it's more like this close to happening, but that said, I've got so many people in the martial arts and friends and people like, dude, kill this kid, we don't like him. I guess he was running around saying he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu and he's a kickboxing MMA fighter, and he's not afraid of anybody, and he got some fight on the show, and
and knocked someone out.
I don't know if he knocked someone out with like those little overhand right rabbit punches. I'd hate to be his boxing coach. I'd probably shoot myself. But I think that he's a bad representation of the sport. Would I fight him? Oh, in an instant, in a microsecond, I'd fight him, of course. Do I think that would ever come to fruition? Probably not. But it's good to get the PR train rolling about people. It's crazy though. Within 24 hours of that being up, I got contacted by TMZ, and they sent me a thing. Hey, we want to do a story on this. So my attorney called them, and basically my state is that I would fight him. I said I would give all the money to charity. I don't want anything from it. I just think that if you're gonna walk around and say that you're a black belt in jiu-jitsu, you're this tough dude, you're not scared of anybody, and you're gonna have all these different. Granted, some of it's just to hype himself up, but within the context of that, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. There was no reason for him to say that. It was just him saying, look me how tough I am. I'm street dog. Mm-hmm. So I looked at it. I figured, let's do it. Let's make an honest man out of you. Otherwise, just shut up and let the dudes that are real fighters be real fighters.
Now, have you heard any official response from his people or anything like that?
No, as we film this, it's only been 30 hours. I mean, It really happened kind of quick, and it's already on a few different websites, and Sherdog, MMA TV. There's like 3 or 4 other websites that have posted stories on it. So, I don't know. It may be on TMZ by the time this comes out. It may not. But Spencer Pratt's out there. Show up at the house, knock on the door.
So you're hearing it right here. Jason Chambers wants to buy you for charity. Of course, and I think that'd be an awesome idea. Now, I was doing some research too on you, and you own your own production company.
Yeah, that's it's bigger in name than in all actuality. Yeah, it is. It's Jacked Productions, JACDProductions.com, and it kind of came to fruition because of a couple of reasons. One, I think that you have to make things happen in life. You can't really sit back and go, I'm waiting for this or waiting for that. Being aggressive and going out there and making things happen. And the entertainment industry is a really tough industry. I mean, you've got to be a little shaded crazy to be an actor, in all honesty. I mean, it's the most self-fulfilling, self-glorifying, like, pointless work in the world. I mean, there's, so that being said, I decided to, I started writing this thing called Pimpin' on Empty as kind of a joke. It's sort of in the same vein as, I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, kind of like a guy's guy, but as a joke. And I started writing it and just showed it to people, and they're like, dude, this is hilarious, and the name is great, you should make this into a script. So my brother and I started writing a script with no idea how to write a script, just jotting down funny stories that had happened to us, and it kind of evolved from there. We ended up getting a producer, a director, a bunch of people attached, started raising money, and it's such a long process. I mean, we've had countless meetings with everybody from National Lampoons and some of my celebrity friends as far as different roles. And so that's kind of how the production company formulated, was based around that project, and then also I partnered up with. There is this little. I can't.
That too.
I'm never going to get Spencer Pratt if I can't be a little fly, right? So same difference really. So that's kind of how that came about. And then also one of my business partners, James Hergott, who owns Owned Entertainment. He and I partnered up to do a pilot for a reality show called MMA Legacy. We had George Drugel, Dean Thomas, Spirit Wolf, a bunch of other people on there to kind of give a backstage of what really happens in a fighter's life.
Yeah. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Now, it was announced Chuck Liddell is going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Just saw Chuck 3 days ago.
Yeah, noticed that. Maybe you? Do you have any dancing moves? You ever want to be on that show?
I would do that show in a second. I just think that I just don't think I have the name value to the show. And in all honesty, maybe if you up and did 2 more seasons or something. But yeah, I think it'd be a cool show to be on. He ran into Chuck. Chuck right now is at the tail end of a bet with Dana. I just got to see him a couple of days ago. We were training, and we made plans to go out. He's like, oh, wait, I can't go out this weekend, bro. It's got to be next weekend because I can drink. And you're not drinking? He's like, I got a $10,000 bet with Dana that I won't drink. So hopefully by the time this comes out, Chuck's $10,000 richer, and that means he's buying the beer when we go on next week.
Awesome. Well, Jason, and thank you for your time. I appreciate it very, very much.
For sure.
Skins Marcus MMA Worldwide. Check out Jason. Maybe the fight with him and Spencer Pratt will come to fruition. Thank you very much.